Firstly, there was in that debate criticism of a grant from the money raised by the tampon tax for the charity Life. Since it was founded in 1970, Life has helped house over 12,000 vulnerable mothers and babies and provided help and non-directive counselling to tens of thousands more. Life was described in the debate as an anti-choice organisation. Far from being anti-choice, Life seeks to give women a genuine choice as to whether to keep their baby or not, and to offer them much-needed support should they choose to do so. The grant of £250,000 awarded to Life over 3 years was described in yesterday's debate as, I quote, the largest sum from the tampon fund tax. That too is incorrect. It was in fact only about the 10th largest. But this sum, so stridently objected to by some in the chamber yesterday, is dwarfed by the amount paid to abortion providers. These sums are staggering. Over the past decade, hundreds of millions of pounds of taxpayers' money has been paid to private sector abortionists. The Times reported that the head of Marie Stopes International, MSI, to whom we pay millions of pounds to carry out abortions in the UK and overseas, received a phenomenal £420,000 in one recent year alone, 4 times the Prime Minister's salary. 22 of their employees were paid more than £100,000 each. What kind of charity is it that pays its staff these sums and out of public money? Surely this is something which the Charity Commission should be investigating. And on the 50th anniversary of the Abortion Act, can I also express my concern at reports resulting from the Care Quality Commission's investigations into abortion practices of MSI, described by some as an industry. Last year, the CQC's inspection report identified a wide range of concerns about the way in which abortions are carried out by Marie Stopes International, including criticising MSI after finding dead unborn babies in open bins. Again, I ask, what steps are ministers taking to address these concerns? This is not just about me as one individual expressing concern, but the government's own regulator doing so. So too, we should be concerned about another abortion provider and charity, the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, BPAS, which describes itself as a not-for-profit charity, but appears to be involved in lobbying to change the abortion laws, despite statements made by the last government that taxpayers won't be made to foot the bill for political campaigning and political lobbying. Matthew Hancock, then Minister for the Cabinet Office, said in February 2016, taxpayers' money must not be wasted on the farce of government lobbying government. Yet I recently received this letter from BPAS, which includes the following. I am writing today to ask that you consider defending and extending reproductive rights in the UK during the course of this Parliament. All parliamentarians, regardless of their personal view on abortion, should support decriminalisation of abortion in the UK. This letter asks me, and I presume it's been sent to all MPs, to support a campaign. I'm placing a copy of it, it's dated 10th July 2017, in the library. And I understand that Anne Furedi, CEO of the abortion provider BPAS, is on record as saying at the London launch of a campaign, We Trust Women, whose stated aim is decriminalisation of abortion, that she said, I want to be very, very clear and blunt. There should be no legal upper limit. This campaign on its website says that it campaigns to see the 24-week abortion time limit removed from the criminal law. What steps are being taken, both by government and the Charity Commission, to address lobbying of this nature by a hugely government-funded organisation? And in yesterday's debate, mention was made of Professor Leslie Reagan of the College of Royal Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, that's ARCOG, who I understand supports decriminalisation and persuaded the Council, the ARCOG Council, but not the membership of ARCOG, to back decriminalisation in a ballot. I understand Professor Reagan has argued that the practice of abortion should be no more restricted by the law than the practice of having a bunion removed. If so, I find this incomprehensible. In her response to the debate last night, the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Health reflected this when she said, "I am sure that everyone in this House agrees that no woman undertakes a termination lightly. For many, it is extremely traumatic." I agree, and that is why there are protections within the current law, such as the requirement for 2 doctors to certify approval, and that, apart from in exceptional circumstances, late-stage abortions after 24 weeks should not take place. And the public appreciates this. Now, I know that polling figures can be questioned, but it is interesting to note that the very recent polling from Comres shows that a massive 72% of people believe that, far from lifting the practice of abortion outside the current legal parameters in place today, like the requirement of legal consent from 2 doctors, 72% of people believe these should remain in place. And that this message is not a fluke is underlined from the unlikely source of a recent, extensive BBC commissioned polling by ICM, which clearly shows respondents supporting 2 doctors continuing to approve an abortion. It showed a clear rejection on the grounds of abortion due to disability, and showed far lower support for abortion under other circumstances than may have been expected, and certainly would be expected if one listened only to the campaigning of those who are pushing for decriminalisation. What these polls indicate is that this is not what the British public want. Indeed, a Comres poll from May shows 70% of people want the 24-week time limit lowered, and not surprisingly, bearing in mind medical advancements in fetal viability over the last 50 years. And 91% want a specific ban on the practice of abortion on the grounds of a child's sex. And so, in closing, Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to remember this here. Those who campaign for decriminalisation and the sweeping away of the safeguards that would entail never mention something, which is that a modern and humane abortion law should consider and uphold not only the dignity and rights of women, but also the dignity and the rights of the unborn child.